Hello and welcome to another episode of Laptop Retrospective, and today we are looking at the X1 tablet that came out in 2016. This particular model is designated as the 20GG, and this year they were also making the 20GH. This was certainly an interesting departure from the X1 series, but it was very reminiscent of the Helix, which I have featured in this channel up here. It was a tablet-style computer that was pretty much designed to unofficially or officially compete with the Surface line of products being offered by Microsoft. It had a very similar engineered kickstand at the back. However, rather than going up like this, it actually comes out like that. Pulling this switch activates a magnet that pops this, kickstand, I guess for the lack of a better word, up, and it is equally as stiff, although it does have a little bit more of a wiggle room, and it was designed to be used in a variety of different configurations. If, for example, you had the type cover as featured on this particular unit, what one could do, of course, would be to pop it, open it, and use the kickstand to essentially adjust the angle of the screen to whatever your heart desired. This particular one, with its keyboard, has several positions that the keyboard can be placed in, depending on your preference using the magnets included. There was also a variety of different accessories for this tablet computer using the docking system that was featured on the bottom, which was known as UltraConnect. So UltraConnect was supposed to feature a variety of different modules that could be used for a variety of different accessories. Some of these accessories included a productivity module, which contained an extra battery, a presenter module with a built-in projector, and also the thin keyboard that we see there. These modules are somewhat difficult to come across and can be very expensive, and ultimately were not horrendously popular. The projector was seen as weak and underpowered, so it was a very interesting idea that has survived in Lenovo's product line, especially if you take a look at their Moto series phones that have the snap-on modules, very similar to this. At any rate, let's just go ahead and give a quick tour of some of the physical components. So on the inside, this came in 4 processor configurations, and I'll list them up on the screen here. They all offered Intel 515 graphics. All of the X1 tablets had a 12-inch Full HD Plus screen, which was a 2160 by 1440 Gorilla Glass panel, 10-point multi-touch with pen support. You had 2 options of solid-state drive, SATA or NVMe. Obviously, the NVMe will give you slightly faster speeds than the SATA, but it is very difficult to tell on a lot of used listings what is actually inside the unit. There are no telltale features. You will have to trust the spec sheet. Speaking of the spec sheet, if you can get the serial number of the device, that would probably be the most reliable way to get a good understanding of what specs are actually in the unit. So if you are buying one of these used, getting that serial number would probably be very, very helpful. If you're looking for it, or if you're asking the seller for the information, it is on that barcode down there underneath the kickstand. If that is not intact, or if you have concerns, then buyer beware. So let's talk about some of the physical features. Here we have what would appear to be an SD card slot hanging out there. And if it's anything like the other machines of this era, it probably supports a maximum of 200 gigabytes of expandable storage. On this side here, we have the USB Type-C connector, which is used for charging the device, a USB 3.0 port, one of your speakers, a mini display port. Along the top, we have the power button. We have a volume rocker and a 3.5mm headphone jack, and then a Kensington lock adapter slot. Along the bottom, we have this strange little release clip, and I'm not entirely sure what its purpose might be. It could be related to one of the extra modules that came with it. And then on the front of the screen, we have a web camera with microphone array, as well as a fingerprint reader. And then lastly, on the rear of the machine, we actually have a decent front-facing camera with a built-in LED flash for taking pictures of documents and other corporate espionage, or whatever it is that you do. And And this nice little keyboard is backlit, which is once again an excellent feature. At the time that these were released, it was a very interesting device because it was lightweight, it was good on battery. They claimed approximately 10 hours with a 37 watt-hour battery due to the M series 6th generation Intel processors. Obviously, when you go to service this thing, you're at the limit of really changing out broken parts, but the motherboard, everything is soldered to, with the exception of the drive, I believe is factory removable. So a couple of key impressions with the laptop is the sensitivity of the trackpad is not terribly great. It usually requires a few swipes to get from one side of the screen to the other, which can be adjusted with software. Buttons are responsive, track point is good. There's a nice degree of click, but not at the top, which is excellent to stop accidental presses. The keyboard is typical what you'd expect. And the laptop is actually fairly speedy and easy to use. So if you are looking for a tablet that is designed to handle media consumption and a little bit of productivity, then this would certainly be a good machine to track down if you can get it at a good price. As of 2019, the prices on these have actually fluctuated a great deal. Because they're still relatively new, relatively powerful, and in good condition, you can expect that they will hit around the $1,000 Canadian mark on eBay on average. So they are definitely a sought-after device, and it's actually pretty easy to see why. Some of them are even carrying warranties still until the year 2021, which makes them especially attractive. It's a very thin, it's a very light device. The touch is very responsive. Really, there's not a whole lot that you're missing in terms of a tablet experience, so if you can find one of these at a good price, do strongly consider it because it will make an excellent companion, and it is certainly going to be durable. This one has gone through the ringer, and we can definitely see that, especially on the back side, and it is still functioning quite beautifully. And if you're lucky enough to track down one of the elusive modules, you will certainly have an excellent one for a collection as well. If you have any questions about this particular unit or the ThinkPad X1 tablet in general, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, and I will do my best to answer them. If you've used one of these, especially one of the productivity modules, I would really like to hear your experience and what that was like. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get my hands on any of those for this video. Perhaps in the future I can find one or two to show you. At any rate, if you enjoy this sort of content and would like to see more, I'm going to leave the big 4 here at the bottom. Please like the video, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to make sure that you are notified when the next part of Project X or any other videos on the channel go live. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.